Welcome, everyone. Broadcasting from the Wraith Game Studio, this is the N3rd Heard Podcast. I am your host, Rich Kiefer, joined today by Fry.
Yep, it's me again. I'm always here.
Lance T. Miller.
Yo, what's up?
And joining us for the very first time, we have a brand new co-host. So we are now going from a trio to a quadrilogy. Introducing for the first time ever, Amber Bay.
Yay! Hi, everyone.
So, we now have 4 people, so this is going to be a little easier conversation-wise instead of
we're
3.
We're going to talk over each other.
It's either going to be easier with the flow, or it's going to be complete clusterfuck, so we'll find out which one.
I anticipate it's going to be like Christmas dinner, where nobody can get a word in edgewise.
Wow, you have a different Christmas dinner than I do. I usually just sit in the corner and very quietly eat my dinner.
Yeah, no, come to my house. It is nothing but talking from 18 different people.
So it's a meeting, like a Legion of Doom or something?
Yes.
Yes.
The League of Evil.
A redneck Legion of Doom. Love my family to death.
Also known as
They might
Deliverance.
be listening. So I love my family.
Which kind of ties into what we're talking about.
Yeah. Before we do that, let's catch up on what you guys have been doing this past week. Fry, we'll start with you. What have you been up to?
Maybe kind of going back to our first episode, I may possibly have been playing Resident Evil 2.
Shut the fuck up. We know you've been playing Resident Evil 2.
What do you mean, maybe?
Maybe. That's a definite yes. I've seen your ass online. So play Resident Evil 2.
Yep.
Killing them zombies. Zambos. Lance, what have you been up to?
Let's see. Made champ in Rocket League and got them champ reward wheels. And then also, Amber and I have been playing the heck out of some Fortnite, catching up on our challenges.
Fortnite.
I like fork knife.
We know you like to eat fry.
I'm trying to think. Babe, what else have we been doing?
Fuck.
Oh my god.
Wow, that got awkward real quick.
Thanks, Fry.
I was looking at Lance and the first thing that popped in my head was cheeks merit. I'm like, fucking.
This is the shit that goes inside of our heads, our twisted little minds.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our podcast.
I was going to go with creating art.
Yes, thank you. I was like...
Working.
Oh, I've been writing my book, dude.
Yeah.
2,000 words a day on my book right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's Stephen King level word count.
It is. That's how much he writes a day.
Damn.
And I'm not even, like, blinking when I do it. I'm not struggling. I'm just sitting down and writing.
Get it, son?
Yeah, buddy. Back to you, Amber.
I mean, you already took my answer. Fortnite.
Dang.
Well, what have you been? You've been doing some other stuff, though.
Work in Fortnite. That's all I've been doing.
She's been working for the weekend.
True.
And watching a particular new show.
Which one? Librarians or Orville?
The Orville.
Yes, we got into the Orville.
So
My brother
good.
is adamant that I need to watch it, so I'm watching it so we can chat about it at some point.
Dude, it's Seth MacFarlane as Star Trek.
Funny.
It's
good.
Actually pretty good.
But we're only a few episodes in, so we're waiting for it to level out and find its groove.
And yeah, I haven't been doing much besides work, editing, launching this damn thing.
Metallica.
By now, the first 3 were pre-recorded. Now we're on episode 4.
Oh, you went to go see Metallica?
Well, yeah. That was my break and reward to myself. That was pretty fucking sweet. Front row, Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
A
Loud.
lot of money spent, but well worth it.
Yeah, Friday.
My ears were ringing even in my sleep.
See, mine weren't. I was shocked because I couldn't hear.
Well, you were down below all the speakers.
Yeah. About 30 minutes after the concert, I couldn't hear much, but then, it's been fine since. Yeah, so besides editing, work, Metallica, that's all I've been doing. I haven't had much time to play games, watch movies, none of that. So.
We've been testing out some new audio equipment for you guys so that we can have much cleaner, crisper
slowly but
podcasts. We haven't implemented them yet, but it's coming soon.
Yep.
And then
it's coming.
We've been working. We got ourselves on iTunes.
Yes, that's the big one. Everyone said yes except for iTunes. And that was an interesting thing. So I just sent him a email. I was polite, but
but stern.
Kind of pushy, but stern.
Now, mind you, this is 4 episodes after you guys have heard our first one, which ended up on iTunes, but it took us this long to get on iTunes.
Yes.
I think it should be noted.
Yes. So, we're completely transparent here. So that was an interesting adventure, but now that we're up on everything, we don't have to do that again. It's just record and go. And, so...
Now we're just barreling down the road.
Yeah. We have a
road of fury, you could say.
You done?
No.
He was going to go off on that Mad Max tangent.
All right, now that we got housekeeping out of the way, we will be talking about...
Housekeeping? You want me fluff your pillow?
Not my pillow.
Hey-o.
Awkward turtle.
Jesus. All right, so... For those of you that are joining us for the very first time, you might be asking, what in the hell are you listening to? And right now, it can be kind of overwhelming and weird, but we are the Nerd Heard Podcast. What would that be, you might ask? We are a group of friends who enjoy anything nerdy, from comic books, movies, video games, board games, and regular-ass books. The ones without pictures. They're not as fun, but they're still cool.
What do you mean not as fun? Speak for yourself. Love books?
Good. Well, come on. Pictures are always better than words.
No, your imagination, bro. That's where it's at. My imagination is cooler than any comic book.
The problem with books is, since all of them are getting adapted to freaking movies, it doesn't matter what you have in your head. They're going to fuck it up.
That's true.
By casting someone that's not in your head, and then it's like, well, that ruins everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when they cast Tom Cruise as Reacher, Amber and I were like, nah, bro.
No, it should be more like a John Cena type, but okay.
Or Liam Neeson.
No, he was too old.
Before. Yeah. Like pre-taken Neeson.
I needed
Liam
Neeson to play Splinter Cell. I needed him to play Reacher. I needed him to play everybody.
I forget who was originally cast to play Fisher, but... Oh, it was Ed Harris. Ed Harris was originally going to be Fisher, and then he aged out of the role because it took him too damn long.
Yeah.
But
I need that movie in my life.
So anyway,
moving on to our topic of the show, as we hopefully we'll probably get derailed more, but we're slowly creeping towards the topic, which is
like the creepy death
villain tropes in movies and in television.
Yeah.
And in other media. If we can
your face is a villain trope.
There is a villainous trope to tie the hero up with villainous rope.
Oh my god, I'm going to smack the crap out of you. Anyway.
Let me explain my plan before you die.
See, this is the shit that we have to deal with.
This is the shit that might get cut out.
Yeah, maybe. I doubt it.
All right.
We're pretty loosey-goosey here. All right, so the first one I want to talk about is the face monster turn. It's a premise of where a hero turns into a villain, which is kind of more common now, I guess you could say, than it's ever been.
It is
everyone loves kind of a villainous or anti-hero or the hero to fall.
But are they justified in doing that?
It's weirdly relatable, though.
Well,
it is. But at the same time, it kind of gets boring.
Yeah, when everybody does it, does get boring.
Yeah. I mean, the first example that I saw it as a kid was, I didn't see it as a kid, but the first character that I was introduced as a kid was Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, going from hero to villain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we never saw the turn.
Not until episode 3.
Yeah.
That was like
the originals. The originals are how it was always explained to me is 4 through 6 is the question, and 1 through 3 is the answer.
Yeah.
That's how did all this happen? Well, there's your answer, whether you want to know that answer or not.
In storytelling, you always want to get straight to the good parts, so that's what they did. And then they decided, how can we make more money?
Yeah.
They Tarantino before Tarantino was even.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll defend 2 and 3. 1's pretty hard to defend.
1 is complete shit. I'll just say it.
Except for the last 10 minutes.
I'll say it.
Last 10, 20 minutes.
It's just because everybody was angry at Jar Jar.
Yeah.
All that. Pointless pod racing scene.
Well, that was at the height of NASCAR. That's why they did it.
Yeah. Pointless. We were getting introduced to his mom, and she's just a Shmi foil for episode 2, where they captured her, and then he kills all the sand people. And that's just being, oh, he's going to turn into Darth Vader eventually.
Yep.
I can only think of Captain Hook when you say Shmee.
Yeah.
Shmee.
Spelled differently, but yeah.
Get the boat, Shmee.
You done?
Well,
done, son?
Hook's a villain. We're still kind of sort of there.
I'm on topic.
We're talking Vader.
Yeah.
We'll get to Captain Hook if we...
Yeah.
Oh, no. That was just because of the Shmee thing.
Oh, if you want to talk about Vader, we'll just cut to the chase. He was a whiny little bitch who got, if he wasn't thinking with his dick, he wouldn't have turned evil. That's the whole thing. He was thinking with his dick and wanted to save his wife. His secret wife. He didn't even have the balls to tell people he was married. Mm-hmm.
No, I think he would have turned regardless. He had anger issues before that.
It was more about the lust for power, really.
Because I wouldn't say at least in Star Wars, as Star Wars stands right now, anger doesn't always lead towards the dark side. Rey was pretty fucking pissed off in 7.
He wasn't angry. He had rage in him.
No, Rey. Oh, you mean Anakin? Yeah,
that's the difference. Rey had anger. She's like, she dipped her toe in the dark side, but he never. Anakin just like, fuck it.
She's the Diet Coke of evil.
She's the Diet Coke.
I'm gonna dip my toe into dark side. It's wow.
Yeah. It is. The dark side is pretty warm, especially if you take a nice lava bath.
And they have cookies.
Yeah.
I don't think Anakin was offered those.
Yeah, he probably would have gone dark side if his wife had baked him some fucking cookies.
If someone would have hugged the little shit when he was a kid, he maybe not have turned out so
Yeah, but he went to a fucking, basically a monastery at the age of 9. Yep. No one's going to be hugging and touching there.
It's
a real life. Hey. The Jedi are not the Catholic priests.
Wow.
Man,
this just keeps taking turn after turn.
A face turn?
That's more of a heel turn, buddy.
About face.
But, yeah, so would you classify Vader or Anakin as mentally unstable?
Towards the end.
Towards the end there?
But he's being manipulated into being kind of unstable. If he wasn't having those nightmares, I don't think.
But if he was totally there, would he be manipulated?
I don't know.
As much?
Mm. The whole Jedi Council was manipulated to go into a war. They even said in the first movie,
that's true.
They're here to protect you. They can't start a war or wage a war for you.
So. Babe, you're pretty well versed on this. What do you think?
I was not prepared for the question.
I mean, that's what a podcast is all about.
Yeah, but it's been a minute since I've looked into any of this.
In Star Wars.
Yeah, I kind of took
So what you're trying to say is you would like to come over and we'll marathon all of Star Wars.
Yes.
No.
1 through 3, Clone Wars.
You
1, 2, Clone Wars, 3.
I don't think we have enough
Rogue
time.
One or Solo would come before Rogue One, then 4, 5, and 6.
This is foreshadowing something that we don't need to speak about yet.
But we have stuff in the works.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
But I think I kind of took a brain bleach on Star Wars for a minute.
A brain
because of
bleach.
episode 8 now.
No, I just needed a break from it.
Don't make me come over there.
It's like ass.
I love Star Wars, but I just needed to clear my head of it.
There is too much of it right now. We're saturated.
We're oversaturated.
That's true. I mean,
Wars.
every place that
if we want to foreshadow even more, as far as Star Wars is concerned, she is saturated by it and somehow feels infected by it. There's a little precursor for it.
A little bit more foreshadowing.
Well, speaking of oversaturation, we can go into the next villain. This author is oversaturated, has so many fucking books out that you can't keep track. And his most notable villain on the big screen, arguably besides Pennywise, is Jack Torrance from The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
The shitting. The boys got the shitting.
Amber is jumping up and down over there.
All right, we'll let her have it.
We will let her.
I can explain why there's an oversaturation of Stephen King. Because you can get his scripts for $1.
That's true.
Really?
You can literally get his short stories for $1 and then go produce a show.
Yep.
So what you're saying is I could make a third Lawnmower Man movie?
He wants to support creators, so he puts his shit out there.
And he writes so much, it doesn't even matter.
So what scripts do we want to get?
Yes.
Lawnmower
It's
Man.
only $1. We can get 4 scripts here.
Fries all about Lawnmower Man 3.
I actually, I like those movies, even though they're nothing like the short story. But anyway, we're talking about the Shinning Boy.
The Shinning Boy. Well,
The boy's
not
got
the
the
boy, the
shinning.
grown-ass man. The boy
No,
is
I
the
was
sequel.
I was quoting the Simpsons version.
Called the Shinning.
So Jack Torrance. I don't really, to be honest, I've only seen the movie once.
Yeah.
I struggle with the thought of him being a villain versus someone who has a psychotic episode. And yeah, because a villain typically has nefarious ends,
Goals.
and goals.
He's being manipulated.
Yeah, this is
Even more so than Anakin. He's being manipulated to kill his family because the hotel wants more ghosts.
Yeah, the hotel is like, hey, we hungry for some soul.
Well, and he's basically
You looking tasty.
he's basically isolated. He's struggling to find his own career groom. And they're in this giant, scary fucking hotel that can speak to him.
Mm-hmm.
And you combine all of those elements, and suddenly you've got him losing his mind.
It was the Hotel California before the Hotel California.
And it does seem like the movie kind of glosses over it, but I remember in the book, Jack's a heavy drinker. And it's like he was like an alcoholic who was taking a break.
They don't gloss over that.
Towards the middle and end of the movie, they show him drinking heavily. But in the beginning, like when he's interviewing with the hotel manager, he's clean shaven. They never mention it's like, oh yeah, I'm a struggling writer and an alcoholic, and I used to beat my son. That's in the book, but the movie just kind of glosses over that, so you're kind of on board with Jack Nicholson at the beginning.
Yeah, he has to be a likable character.
He is not, in my opinion, he was not likable.
No.
At any point in the book.
He was always a jerk.
So, okay, if that's the case, would you say that he is then put back in the category of villain because he was already a bad person when he walked in?
Yeah.
And the hotel fed on that negative energy.
In the book, that is definitely the case. In the movie, I think it was, it's that turn. He's corrupted slowly.
I'll have to go back and read the book, but yeah, based on my understanding of the movie, he was pretty straight-laced when he came in, just kind of like trying to be a writer, rediscovering stuff. Now, they did show that he looked over at a bar and like kind of saw the alcohol and like quickly turned away from it, so you could see that there was some sort of attraction
more
to it. But
visual.
Then, they alluded to it, but they never actually outright said that he previously was an alcoholic.
Well, they're too busy telling you about how the moon landing was fake.
That's another trope. That's in so many things.
But if you consider, though, the idea that the spiritual world feeds on what's already present, then the idea that he already had that evil within him, and it just made it more prominent.
I guess I still have a problem of like identifying him as a villain. Again, more so than somebody who just lost control of their mental faculties.
It could go back to the old thing of, everyone has evil in them. It's just most people are able to keep it down. And then for whatever reason, this hotel said, you're going to be evil.
That's true. I find myself right now wanting to kick the crap out of you, but I'm restraining.
Yeah.
Weird little sidebar. The Shining was published January 28th, 1977. And Hotel California was released February 22nd, 1977. Recorded 76.
Coincidence?
So the ideas kind of happened together separately.
Or conspiracy theory.
Or they're best friends and they called each other up.
Could be.
Simultaneous happenstance. A simulstance.
But if we're talking about hero type people that become villains, I think a more modern example that everybody knows.
Just like Jack Torrance, an everyday man.
Yeah. Everyday man.
Is good old Walter White.
Oh,
okay, now, this one, I can say he definitely turned villain.
No, he definitely
There
did.
was no redemption at a certain point.
Yeah.
He becomes Heisenberg by season 4 or 3.
No, when he adopts the name?
No.
When he
embraces
when he fully embraces it.
I think it's
3. Like the end of season 3, beginning of season 4, when he realized he's going to war with Gus.
Yeah.
Well, but I would say...
And he's like, all right, the gloves are off.
Well, I would say even before then, to me, the point he turned was when he let Jane.
Oh, in season 2.
Season 2.
He let her choke to death.
Yeah. Jesse's girlfriend. Jesse was, kind of straying away from the business aspect, and Walter couldn't depend on him. He was being distracted by Jane. And so Jane had an overdose reaction, or they got high or drunk.
Yeah, she was overdosed.
Yeah, and Walter came across her.
She started puking up, and then he let her choke and die on her own puke. And he could have stopped her. He could have saved her. He chose not to.
And he even tried. He almost runs over, and then he's like, "Wait a minute, here's my out."
Yeah, he's like, "There's my out. I can keep Jesse forever to work for me, and we can keep making meth." So I think that was the turning point was season 2 for me.
Yeah.
Where I think he was lost, but he fully embraced it by season 4.
I think when he first made that turn was when he blows up what's-his-face's the first villain that he goes after, and he throws the exploding glass.
Oh, Tuco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when he first kind of was like, you're crossing the line. Up to this point, I'm rooting for you to make money because you're dying. It's like, now granted, he didn't kill anyone. He just hurt them, but it's like, you're dipping your toes into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can see there's a clear mental switch, and it is the face turn. Because he started out with the intention of, like, okay, I have to do something to pay for my own medical bills, and he was like,
money for his kids too.
Yeah, and to leave money for my kids, and it was a like, well, I'm a chemistry teacher, I can use what I know. Yeah, it sucks for the rest of the world, but I'm looking out for numero uno. Mm-hmm. Then he comes through everything, gets through the chemo, and comes out of it, and is like, well, shit.
That was fun. I'm going to keep doing that.
I'm good at this. I'm better at this than I've been at anything else.
He even says that it was either the last episode or second to last episode. He's like, I didn't do it for any particular reason. He did it because he liked it and he was good at it.
Yeah.
He lied to himself basically until the end. And then he realizes, no, I just like doing this.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what made him also interesting too was, I think, Heisenberg was also created inadvertently by him getting screwed over the first time by his partners at CIT. And
that's true.
He was, before he was a teacher, he was a scientist. He had 2 other partners. Then they got married and then screwed him out of the technology that he was patenting.
Okay, but then in his pride, he also completely refused to take money from them.
They offered him.
They offered to pay for the bills and
the medical bills and help out the family, but he's a pride.
True, but at the same time, if they really cared about him in the first place, they wouldn't have fucked him over. And then, we hear you're dying. Here's some pity money. I mean, I kind of get him, because if they're willing to do that while he's alive, why be nice when you're dying?
Guilt.
Well, because
they're pieces of shit. I mean,
because they had the laser pointers on them at the end, and they're going to, or they're going to get shot.
That too.
That's basically the only reason they do it at the end.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's spoilers there, maybe for the rest of you who haven't seen the.
Yeah, but the show came out 11 years ago.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Some people haven't finished it yet, though.
Well, get over it.
Look, Amber's like me.
Hey, Batman dies at the end. Spoiler.
I started marathoning it after season 2. Amber kind of dropped off of watching it with me, and I was just like, I blazed through it.
I started watching the show in end of season 2, early season 3. Watched it to the end. The day the series finale came out, the guy I was rooming with at the time, he's like, man, I heard Breaking Bad just finished. And I'm like, what, you want to start it? So it was like, I got home from work, watched the series finale, and then immediately when my buddy got home from work, we started marathoning it again.
It's amazing. I mean, it's worth it, dude.
It's the best show of all time.
Favorite scene?
It's up there.
My favorite scene ever, the turtle crawling through the desert with what's his name's head on it.
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo, yeah.
It's creepy.
It was amazing.
Oh, well.
Anyway, all right.
Moving on here.
So, other villains that made that started out good, right? Mm-hmm. One of my go-tos here is the Godfather, Michael Corleone.
Yeah. He's not the
not yet.
In the first one.
Not to start. but he becomes.
We'll get there. Yeah.
So he's known as
he's actually a war hero from World War II.
Yeah, because his dad, he's the only good son out of the family, as the Don kind of says.
He's the only non-piece of shit in the entire family.
Yeah.
And then he becomes what he didn't want to be.
He's really not a total piece of shit until 2.
No, yeah.
He's kind of crossing the line at the end of the first one, but
he just wants to help his family out with the first one.
The first one's about revenge.
Yeah, which involves doing some dirty stuff. And like I said, his turn doesn't happen until 2, where he embraces the scumbaggery. But I mean, to me, he always felt like he was the one that was never going to turn. But then, 2 happens, and you're like, okay, he's obviously the Godfather now,
right?
And then it's strange because you root for him in 1, 100%. You kind of still sort of root for him in 2, but it's like, man, you are crossing the line. You're pushing everybody away. You're pushing your own family away.
Well,
then when he gets his comeuppance in 3, it's like, good, you deserve it, you son of a bitch.
But before that, he has that scene that becomes like a classic, now parodied trope, where he's in the room with all of the people around him, from the family and stuff like that.
Talking about Fredo.
Yeah, and the door closes in front of the kid, and the kid realizes. The wife.
Yeah.
But so they've parodied that in so many things.
Don't ask me about my work.
They did it in Weeds. They did it in I think there was one in Futurama, even that they did.
Oh, it's classic.
It's oh man.
That's kind of when you notice it's like he's embracing this.
Yeah.
He did it reluctantly as kind of revenge to get his dad's killers back. But yeah, by then it's like, don't ask me about my work. It's like, oh. You're embracing this. You like this too much.
Yeah, so he becomes Godfather.
Yeah.
Eventually. He kind of goes from being a face turn.
Yeah, that's a different movie.
That's a different movie, but
I know.
He was a villain from the beginning of that.
Same person though, but yeah.
But he goes to being more of a, would you say, a mastermind?
Yeah.
Which is a good segue into our next group of villains, our mastermind category.
Wait, no, hold on, we're missing somebody.
Yeah, you're skipping over.
Amber had one that she listed there.
Yeah.
I don't think I actually listed it.
Okay, well, I feel like this would be one that would actually be probably both of ours.
Well, before we jump,
the three of us.
We need to state for the record that somebody here hasn't seen The Godfather.
Yeah, we'll rectify that.
Babe.
Yeah.
I know.
So disappoint.
Sorry, guys. I'm here to keep my Godfather purity.
Well, I figured you'd have a sense of humor about the matter, Lance. After all, you married her!
Yeah, how would you let us go 17 years without ever showing me The Godfather? It must not be that important.
Damn. Ow.
Yeah?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. I own the fucking collector's set, and I have tried to sit down and watch it with you. Well, you need to get on my level, son.
So...
Okay.
I might have listed, I don't remember anymore, Light Yagami from Death Note.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Death Note.
Starts out all awesome. You're like, this guy's a cool cat. He's doing his school thing.
Well, and he's about justice.
And
he's actually studying to be a lawyer. Or is he a lawyer or a cop?
Criminal justice. He was going to go into the police force like his dad.
His dad was a cop.
Yeah.
So he's going to follow his dad. And then he's like, look, I got this cool book and I can do this shit with it. And I'm going to make the world better.
And then he slowly becomes Kira.
Then he realized
the way he
power
tests
corrupts.
everything is nuts.
Yeah, down to like when there's even the cameras and he's like writing in the potato chip bag. He's like, my God, you're an evil genius.
Yep.
He's both a hero that falls to the dark side and a mastermind.
He's so good.
Super mastermind, which we could say this makes a good segue into the next
only
one,
reason he loses is because of his arrogance.
Yeah.
His arrogance.
Well, he's so smart, he'll never be caught by anybody.
Well, and in the manga and anime, he doesn't get caught by L. He actually beats L.
Yeah.
He's caught by Nero? Is that the second kid's name? I can't. The second half is almost forgettable.
I thought it was just N.
Or N, yeah.
It's just N, but I think in the manga he's actually named
Nero.
Nero.
I think so. Yeah. In the movies, not the crappy Netflix movie, but the 2 Japanese movies, and then there is a spinoff of L. L actually beats him because it was a better story to say that L overcame him.
Right.
But
especially because...
But it ends the same way. It's like, ha, you'll never beat me. And then he dies. He gets shot. He basically gets shot by his own dad. In the movies, in the movie, he gets shot by his own dad. But by that point, in the manga and anime, I believe he kills his own dad, doesn't he?
I think the manga, but not the anime.
Okay.
I think the anime...
I feel like in one version, he kills his dad.
It alludes to him trying to decide whether or not to kill his dad in the anime, but I think he ends up just writing out that extensive full
the plan
scene.
of like getting his memory erased.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to give too much away there in case anybody doesn't watch that, but...
It's been long enough.
that show's been over for like 12 years.
But I feel like there's some of these things that we're talking about that people haven't seen, and by our enthusiasm towards it, they may go watch it. So I don't want to spoil everything.
You should, even if you're not
we already spoiled Breaking Bad. That's it.
Yeah.
I trained up the station.
But
hey,
if you're not into anime, I would suggest Death Note. It's, besides for the death god side of things, it's actually very grounded.
It's very well written.
It's just when the death god shows up, things get a little bit weird and goofy, but for the most part, it's a very grounded story.
And it's very well written. I mean,
and it's one season and done.
Yeah.
Watch the 26 episodes and get out.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah, you're not locked into it forever.
Or watch
kind of anime.
Or watch the 2 movies.
So, and we were talking about him being a mastermind, so that segues into our next grouping. So, Rich, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to save the first one for Fry, but my personal mastermind, the Joker. More specifically, Heath Ledger's Joker.
Okay. Oh, you're not talking about Hot Topic Joker?
No. No. All right.
Hot Topic Joker. I think
while we are on that, let me get this out of the way. If you like Jared Leto's Joker, and if you are listening to this, I'm sorry. Because
I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
This is where shit's about to get real.
Stay tuned for a Rich rant.
This is a mini rant. All right. Besides his shitty look of looking like he got his ass beat by a manager at Hot Topic from the 1990s, he acts like, I don't know, he's kind of Metro in a way. He just acts very weird. I'm like, is this dude...
Because he's not acting.
Yeah,
he's
true.
Acting
Jared
like
Leto.
Jared.
Yeah, he's Jared Leto.
Well, and he acted like a complete douchebag to his cast members, too,
because he's Jared Leto.
Hey, Jared, we need you to act weird. Oh, so you want me to act like everybody else?
Well, he was trying so hard to channel all the other greats who actually do a good job with total immersion.
Yeah, he tried to combine like Jack Nicholson with Heath Ledger.
How much of that was the director versus him, though?
That was him.
All of that awesome, like, previous to Jared stuff culminates in used condoms to his castmates.
Yep.
That's creepy, dude.
Dead rats.
Yeah, he's strange. There's method acting, and then there's Leto acting.
Yeah, Leto is not a mastermind.
Yeah, get back on track. Besides completely shitting on Jared Leto, the Joker in that movie was just complete trash because it's not the Joker. It's some random guy cosplaying as the Joker.
Yeah.
Which I'd rather get that cosplayer to play the Joker. You know, there's a really famous cosplayer who...
So while she does that, I want to bring up a real quick point. There's a song in that movie called Purple Lamborghini Rolling, and in the music video, it's not a goddamn Lamborghini. It's some random ass car.
Yeah.
And they're like trying to say Purple Lamborghini Rolling, and you're looking at it, you're like, that's not a Lamborghini, bro. Like, what are you doing?
From Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Lambo. It's not. I forget what they use.
It's still one of those high-end supercars, but it's not.
But it's not a Lambo. So, like, you make a song called Purple Lambo, and it's not I don't know.
They weren't masterminds.
The person who produced that music video sure
Now,
wasn't.
the man who all he needs is bullets and, gasoline. These things have a thing in common. They're cheap.
Yeah, and he shows that in the beginning of The Dark Knight. We're going back on track to the good one now.
Mm-hmm.
We shit on
one of the good ones.
Amber, did you find that cosplayer?
Maybe the best. Maybe the best. He's not my personal favorite, but he is one of the
All
best.
right, Amber found the cosplayer.
His name's Anthony Miziano. Sorry if I said that wrong. He's like the definitive cosplayer Joker, but he would have been 10 trillion times better than Jared as the Joker.
But he might not be an actor.
He is.
Well, we could get the guy who played the Joker for that one quick scene of him shooting Batgirl in Bird of Prey, where he's voiced by Mark Hamill, but the actor on screen, because his face is blurred out, all you see is him pointing the gun at Batgirl, going bang, and that's it.
Yeah,
and he's credited as the Joker. It's like, no, you could have been any Joe Schmo off the street with green hair.
Correct.
They picked him though. His jawline makes an appearance. That is it.
True.
But Heath Ledger Joker.
All right. So what about you, Fry?
What? Do you want to expound?
It's my topic, asshole.
I thought you were already done.
No, he's got to expound on the Joker.
I'm going to expound on why this Joker kicks the shit out of the Jared Leto Joker.
We never actually talk about his Joker.
Exactly.
We've only vented.
Oh, that's right. He went off on Hot Topic
Also,
Joker. I'm sorry.
Lance, I put a link in for you.
Oh, yeah?
Look at the link, fool.
Okay.
All right. So, back to the good one, the true mastermind of the Jokers. He's amazing. Why? Because he somehow he steals the money from them first, but he steals the money from all the crime families within Gotham. Pretty ballsy for one. Then he goes into their lair while they're meeting and is like,
not only did I steal your money, but you're going to pay me to kill the Batman.
You're going to pay me to kill him. Why should we do that? Because it's what I do.
Yeah.
And I asked him, how much do you want? Half.
Yeah.
They laugh him out of the building. Okay, cool. Except for he's like, well,
let's
fuck you.
not blow this out of proportion.
He's like, fuck you. I'm going to get my money, and he has a grenade on him, and he's going to detonate himself because they're not going to call his bluff.
No.
So, and he realizes that, so he's one step ahead of them there, and they give in, kind of. So he basically steals the money. Eventually, he takes his half. And we see him in the movie go after Batman, kind of. He doesn't really want to go after Batman because he's more of a toy.
Well, at the beginning, he definitely seems to want to kill him. And that's when he sees how Batman reacts. It's almost that,
it's
I can have fun with this guy.
Well, he's the anti-Joker, and he likes that because he doesn't want to stop doing what he's doing. He just wants to be stopped long enough so he could break out and do it again.
Yeah. He's having
it's like a
fun.
Game. Yeah. It's a complete game to him. So he's always thinking one step ahead.
We can do this forever.
They can. They could have.
Well, things are the way they are.
Yeah. But, throughout the movie, he's just toying with them. And eventually, when it comes to the culmination of the movie, he basically takes out the mafia guys one by one. The Joker does. So he systematically kills most of the crime boss family heads, and then it's just him and Batman at the end. And then he plants a bomb on a ship with
2 ships,
regular passengers and a ship with prisoners.
Yep.
They have to make a choice. They either blow each other up and survive, or they both go up.
Yep.
And what happens?
It's prisoner's dilemma, only with explosives.
Yep. And no one does it.
Mm-hmm.
So his mastermind plan, he planned the whole movie trying to turn the city on each other.
Which he almost succeeds. It's just
close.
The one guy on the civilian boat kind of chickens out at the last minute, and then Tiny throws the detonator for the prisoners out the window.
Yeah, because the police officer is thinking about it. He's kind of
he's about to turn it, and he was like, well, we haven't blown up, so they haven't done anything,
And then he takes it and chucks out the window, and so eventually Joker gets caught. He probably wanted to get caught, I think.
Could be.
He could have escaped. He really could have escaped if he wanted to. I think
probably. Well, he's beating the living shit out of Batman. He could have just beat him up and then ran away, but for whatever reason, he just keeps fighting.
Yeah, it's
why? Because he's nuts.
Yeah, he's crazy. He wants to do that forever. He wants to play the game, and getting caught is a part of that game. and then breaking out and then doing it again.
And then he lost the game. If you're going to be talking about Batman villains, we could probably skip down the list a little bit and transfer over to...
Segue over to mine.
Mr. Miller over here.
Yeah.
So, all right. The one that's kind of always appealed to me is the Riddler. And more so Jim Carrey's portrayal of the Riddler in Batman Forever. Edward Nygma, brilliant scientist. There's a lot of stuff that people don't really realize, that he was smart as a child. His dad beat the crap out of him. A lot of that stuff comes from the comics. They didn't really hint at that in the movie.
The movie is kind of a combination of three characters. They didn't know what to do and just went smash.
Which I think worked out really well. Mm-hmm. But the whole point is he has to prove his superiority. In every turn, he has to put Batman in a life or death situation, or somebody else close to Batman in a life or death situation that involves a puzzle that he believes he is the only one who knows the answer to.
Well, and all the while, basically trying to get Batman to his identity. It's like, I'm still trying to kill you or defeat you, but along I want the way.
You to find out who I am.
Just basically to know who beat you.
I'm the brilliant scientist who you just completely passed over in your lab.
Yeah.
I showed you this cool technology called the brainwave. Or
the box.
The brain box, yeah. And he's like, I showed you this brilliant technology. You completely stepped past me. You're just like everybody else in my life who's completely forsaken this brilliant genius sitting before you. Now I'm going to crap on you, basically, and make you pay for it.
There's a really easy way to kill Batman, though.
Take away all his tech.
Just
bullets?
Fucking kill him.
Well, they try.
Everybody tries to make these complex, elaborate systems.
Hey,
and it's like, hey,
even
him?
In Tim Burton's movie, they shoot him and he still doesn't die because he's got body armor.
Nobody can follow the evil overlord.
Well, and even since we're talking about Forever, Two-Face launches a grenade at him and tries to burn him alive. Batman's always got the technology somehow.
Yep.
The only thing he doesn't keep on that belt is tolerance for criminals like you.
Wow. That was awesome, actually. But yeah, so that's my favorite, is Edward E. Nygma. The Riddler.
We'll move over to Fry's favorite.
Yeah, I've got two here listed, but one of them's really my favorite. So I got to go with Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber. Who strangely sounds, English with a bad German accent put over it, but that's okay.
Wait, you're talking about from that Christmas movie, right?
Yeah, best Christmas movie of all time. Die Hard. Yeah. So, yeah, he's definitely a mastermind, because even before he goes to Nakatomi Plaza, he knows that the FBI is going to get involved. He's like, and it's really, he's trying to throw everybody off. He's like, I'm going to make everyone think I'm a terrorist, taking hostages for some scheme to let my other terrorist friends out. But in reality, I'm just robbing you blind.
Yeah, just robbing the hell out of
And how do I rob you blind? I want you on purpose to turn the power off to the building. It's like, oh my God, you're a madman, but he's so smart.
When you understand the way that the FBI works, all of their protocols and what they have to do, and then you put that into action, into a plan to create a robbery.
Well, and scenario? Even his final plan of, he knows that he's going to ask for helicopters. They're going to bring helicopters. He knows they'll probably try and double cross him. So what's he going to do? Put all the hostages and the helicopters on the roof and blow it up. And it's like, everyone's going to think I'm dead. And meanwhile, I'm going to drive out in an ambulance and no one's going to be the wiser.
Yeah.
And it's like,
dude,
sadistic,
nuts.
Sadistic, but it's a good plan.
Yeah. His IQ was up there.
Only thing he didn't count on was the fly in the ointment, the monkey in the wrench. So
John McClane.
Yeah. Detective John McClane. Yeah. Lieutenant John McClane of the New York Police Department.
I like how you did that. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. You had the same inflection.
Yeah, kind of.
Same cadence. All right. So what do we got next?
Yeah, we kind of talked when we were coming up with this about, not all villains are villains on purpose. Some people are really the villains of the story because the story dictates it. They're kind of a villain by design. It may be in their programming or in their nature that they're just violent or killers. But if you really stand back and look at it, they're doing what they were programmed to do or what they're designed to do. So
yeah,
we can kind of combine
a bunch of these,
but 3 in particular that are very similar but very different looking.
Mm-hmm.
Terminators, agents from the Matrix, and xenomorphs, aliens.
Yep.
So
yeah, all of them are. Well, the first 2 are literally programmed to do a job, and the Terminators. Their whole purpose is to wipe out humanity. There's no emotion about it. There's no nefarious. You could argue Skynet, being an AI, might have some weird.
Skynet might have
like an emotional tie or some hidden motive behind that, or some hatred towards humanity. But it's like the actual just Arnie machines. They're just doing a job.
I don't even think Skynet. I think Skynet just evolves and it wants to be the ultimate life form, so it has to take organic life out to become that.
But that's where that argument of a machine is only as smart as you make it comes into play.
And they made Skynet way too smart.
So that means that whoever its general human programmer was that gave them that ability for artificial intelligence actually programmed in there the ability to think about war.
Well, that would be that general guy who was Kate's dad in the 3rd movie.
Exactly.
Technically. After all the time meddling. I mean, I guess originally it would have been Miles Dyson, but...
Yeah. God, stupid time paradoxes.
If you think about that series, every movie is actually in its own timeline, because every time they go back in time and they screw with something. They skew off into another timeline. Right. So actually every movie is its own isolated entity.
Yeah.
Funny enough you say that, because we're about to get a 6th timeline.
Yep.
They're redoing it.
Yep.
Oh my God.
It's basically they're doing what they're calling the official 3. 3 and everything onward never happened. They're doing what they did Halloween.
Yep.
But so machines in the Matrix are kind of the same way. They're programmed to basically be prison guards.
Well, yeah, you got the agents, and then you've got the squiddies, the sentinels.
That's all they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you could argue the baby face over in the Machine City might have some sort of hatred to humans for all the abuse they take over that
thing
franchise.
Is creepy.
But the agents and everything, they don't give a shit. And like Rich mentioned, the xenomorphs, they really don't give a shit. They're
all of the agents don't give a shit except for Smith, who ends up going through an existential crisis.
Yeah, we'll get there someday.
Yeah, and then xenomorphs, of course, they're just hunting. Yeah, they're just hungry.
Their whole they're built, and we could go at length about the bastardization that's happened recently about that franchise, but in the base, kind of original trilogy and all that, they are just going off of instinct. We need to infect you to get to the next stage of life, and then we'll use that next stage of life to bring humans back to the eggs to get more of ourselves. They're ants.
Yeah.
Or bees,
It's kind of creepy, but
it's a natural instinct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to them, it's just a part of
they are smart.
Their instinctful programming.
Yeah, they are smart. They hunt. They know. But it's, they view humans as food or a resource. It's
a birth.
They're not
resource. For
they're not malicious. It's just
they're chest bursters.
You're in our way.
Sorry. Hey, you make a great incubation chamber for our offspring. We're going to use that now. Thank you. Yeah. So what about?
But they're also not unlike the predators.
I agree.
In a way,
predators are definitely a higher life form.
They are, but
the Yautja, I think, is the official name, or Utaja.
I've never figured out how to pronounce it.
Yeah. They actually have an official name. Forget the stupid new movie. I don't give a shit what that movie says. It's not The Predator. that whole movie is garbage and doesn't exist. Their official canon name is like the Yataja or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyway,
we'll just call them predators.
Yeah, we'll just call them predators. But they were at first just doing research, basically.
Oh, if in the original movie, it was as simple as it was. They just hunt for sport.
Yeah. That
Later
was,
on, we find out, okay, they're kind of doing research on different planets.
Yeah.
To a degree. But that really wasn't brought in until
the new one.
Well, because their hunting led them to maybe we should study these things to see why they react the way they do, why, all this other stuff.
Why we're getting our ass kicked by, a 55-year-old cop in LA. Arnie kind of makes sense. Danny Glover, maybe not so much.
No.
Even though I do like that movie and will defend that movie.
I thought
that one
not the worst of the series now.
That one, it never was.
Well, between one and two.
When it was just 1 and 2, yeah. And then 3 was good, but it wasn't as good as 1 and 2.
They should make a Lethal Weapon Predator crossover.
Oh, let's not pretend we did.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
But yeah, they're just... Even though they're a higher life form, I do feel like maybe they are kind of being malicious. It goes back to the argument of how do you look on lower life forms?
Yeah.
They look down on us. We're just sport to them. We're nothing more than deer with guns.
Yeah, but at the same time, we do the same
that sounds familiar.
I mean, it's like, are they really bad guys? But they're not hunting for food. They're hunting for sport. I mean,
and they do have rules in the original 3.
Yeah.
The first 3, they all keep the same code of ethics. If you don't have a gun or some type of weapon, they're not going after you. Yep. If you're pregnant, they're not going after you. They have boundaries.
Yeah. But. And it's weird because at first, when they're introduced in the very first one, it looks like they're going after everybody. But then you start to see hold on, they're not attacking this guy that doesn't have a gun. Why is that? And then you start to figure out that they had rules and boundaries and stuff. I think that's pretty interesting. But again, it is by design. Mm-hmm. Their whole purpose is to do that.
I'll tell you who doesn't have boundaries. Crazy people.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
No, we don't want to go there.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I think I know what she was going to say, and oh my God.
My favorite is Mr. Blonde.
Okay. Yeah,
that's my favorite. The other one's my favorite because it makes you angry.
Well, let's get talking about Mr. Blonde.
Mr. Blonde from Reservoir Dogs. Crazy fucking guy.
Mm-hmm. And he's having fun doing it.
And he's just so happy.
He's just dancing.
He's just like, I'm just dancing, singing my song, cutting people's ears off. Oh, look, I got some gasoline right over here. How about we give you a little bath? How does that feel?
Well, and that whole movie exists because of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, if everything had gone to plan, that would be a real boring movie.
Yep.
But apparently he goes psychopathic and starts shooting people in the bank. He shoots the cops.
Yep.
The whole movie exists because of him.
Well, and the whole point of the theft was they were just going to steal the shit, get out. Mm-hmm. Nobody dies. Nobody gets hurt. And Mr. Blonde's like, but this is so boring. Let's make it interesting. We want to play a little Grand Theft Auto.
He just got out of jail. He was looking for some revenge. You could argue that maybe that's why he did it.
Yeah.
He was angry at the system and needed to take down the man.
I'm pretty sure he's just fucking mental.
Could be.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole topic. But yeah, he's just a madman without a plan.
Hey, if you had just shot up a bunch of people and cops, wouldn't you show up to a warehouse drinking a smoothie? He's just so calm and collected. It's like, yeah, that's right. I put you all in danger. What of it?
This guy had fun, didn't you? I mean, come on.
We're criminals.
I thought you guys were cut out for this. Clearly not.
Lance.
Yeah?
Do you want to talk about a psychopath?
So my favorite psychopath is Jigsaw. John Kramer. But what I like about it is that he gives people a chance to redeem themselves.
Yeah. It's a very sick way at redemption, but it seems to work.
Well, and then apparently the one who did redeem herself ends up becoming the protege and carries on the series. But
then she starts liking it too much, and then basically becomes an actual murderer, and then he tests her again,
and then has to take her out. And what I like about it is that he thinks through every single level of who it is he's testing and how they're likely to choose. That's why I go back to that whole Edward Nygma thing. He basically does the same thing. He puts them in a death trap, but he's testing their mental acuity and their will to survive. It's like, how badly do you want it? I'm going to give you a chance. Out of that
whole series, I think there's really only one person who comes out of the tests not really thankful for it. And it's the girl who ends up cutting off her arm. And it's either at the beginning of 4 or at the beginning of 6. The later one's also.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. She ends up hacking off her arm, and then it's like, well, are you grateful for your life? And she's like, how the fuck am I grateful? I just lost my arm.
Right.
She's like, I only did it to not die, but she's like, I'm not grateful for this situation. My life is ruined.
Yeah. But it's like, well.
But by that point, he was dead. So.
Yeah, and you could also reason it's like, well, you have one less arm, but you have your life. It was either you don't have your life,
she might get over it. After a while, she'll get over it.
You have to be at least somewhat grateful because now you're alive. But
was her name Simone?
Could be.
It was
sounds familiar.
Trying to cut her arm off.
Yeah,
it was between her and this real big fat guy because the fat guy just kept cutting fat off of himself, and she's like, "Oh, well, I don't have that much weight, so I got to cut off my arm."
Yeah, the one cutting fat off himself like that. Yeah, that's bad.
But yeah, John's very well, and you can definitely see the switch when it switches to his proteges. The traps become more elaborate and like strange, and don't necessarily reflect the victim's shortcomings.
Right.
Like his first test is, they show in one of the flashbacks, is Cecil. And he's sitting in a chair and it's got all the knives in the front of it. And he's like, your whole life, you're an ugly man. So if you want to survive, you're going to have to make your face as ugly as you appear on the inside.
Right. Well, and then the one guy who killed his wife at the clinic.
Cecil.
Yeah, Cecil. But I think we're talking about the same guy.
Yeah.
So,
and he has to push through the
to push through the things, and he can't.
He can't. He's just like, hey, fuck you. I'm gonna kill you, man.
So, and it's weird because before you really get into the series and you start to realize that that's what he's doing, is trying to offer people a chance to redeem themselves, you're like,
that first movie, you're very much in the dark.
You're empathetic towards the seemingly victim side, and then you don't.
But then as the series goes on, it's like, just let these guys die.
You're like, oh shit, these guys are pieces of crap, and I kind of don't feel bad for them anymore.
Well, I mean,
except for the proteges kind of going.
I feel bad for the guys in the first two movies, or the first movie. The only one I really feel bad for in the second movie is the kid. I don't know the actor's name and I don't remember the character's name, but it's Detective Matthews' kid.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same actor that was in Continuum. That's the only way I know him. He's bad. I feel bad for him because he's kind of a screw up, but he's not a criminal. He is there because of his dad.
Right.
And it's like, this is kind of sucks because you could die in this situation.
Yeah.
And then past that, it's like everyone else kind of gets what's coming to them.
Yeah. Okay, so what?
I believe the next one's Rich.
We've got a couple of coming up.
Yeah.
That wasn't me. No Country for Old Men? No.
That wasn't you?
That was me.
Oh. This is one of Amber's picks. Okay.
Man, Amber's going crazy on the psychopaths.
I didn't have one in this category.
Amber's got a love for psychopaths. Is that why you married me?
Yes.
Awesome.
I might have a thing for psychopaths. So yeah, I put Anton for No Country for Old Men.
Anton Shiggy.
Yep. Because he's almost like a machine programmed to just go and kill people. Except he's a human.
But come on, he's a friendo to everybody.
No, I watched that movie a year or two ago, and it made a big impact on me of like, holy crap, that guy does not give a shit.
He's a flesh and blood Terminator.
Yeah.
He's just, he's trying to recover the money. he doesn't give a shit who's in his way.
And it just makes me feel bad, though, for the actor.
Yeah. And he's cold, very cold through the whole movie. Mm-hmm. He has no emotion.
He got hurt. He just bandaged himself up and kept going. He didn't stop to think about, like, oh, I'm hurt. Maybe I should stop my murder rampage. No, he's like, oh, I better just put a little Band-Aid on and keep going. So I just have him because he's a true example of a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
He's cool.
It's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, you need
It's a slow burn, but it's good.
Be patient.
Should we put a warning up for this one?
Nope.
All right.
Oh.
This one's gonna trigger. This one's gonna trigger.
I don't know if I have the energy for it today.
Well, why don't we talk about Amy Dunn?
Because she's like, okay, God.
And what a loving wife she is.
No, she's like,
to Ben Affleck's character in Gone Girl.
She's like, cunt, Harry, and a thumping good one.
And why is she that?
She's manipulative. I don't know. There's something about that movie that just gets under my skin.
Because it's one of the few examples of a female as a psychopath.
That and, because I've had some bad relationships in the past. And it's kind of like, I don't know. It gets under my skin of like, you goddamn bitch. It touches on a very personal level. It just drives me nuts.
So I think we should.
I don't like the fact that she gets away with it. That really pisses me off.
But that makes it even better. Yeah. Like, how often does the bad guy win?
I know, and I usually like when the bad guy wins because it doesn't happen very often. But for some reason, that story is very grounded in reality. It's not a slasher movie. It
could take place anywhere.
I know. So it's the fact she gets away with it and she's happy about it the whole fucking time just pisses me off. Why are you doing that to Ben Affleck? He's an American heartthrob. He wasn't Batman by then.
No, but she knew. She knew what was about to come.
I think he had just done Argo. He was on the rebound.
She was saving us from our fate.
But there is no fate but what we make. God. Yeah, I don't have the energy. I can't say anymore.
I was going to say, any other time we've mentioned this, Fry will go off for 20 to 30 minutes.
He becomes the color of a tomato.
Starts cussing and sputtering like Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
But I mean, they had a good 5 years before she went crazy.
Yeah, and it is a great movie to get that kind of reaction out of somebody. Even now, how long ago was that movie?
2014.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's I still think about it from time to time. It's like, I don't think I would ever watch the movie again because it just absolutely enrages me. But it's so good.
We went into it blind.
Yeah.
We didn't know what it was.
I knew what the story was about, but I didn't know the ending. So when it ends, she's getting away scot-free. I sat in my seat and I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, I kind of expect that out of a horror movie. You always have the villain come back for one last scene. It's like, no, you can't end this like this. This isn't a happy ending. What the fuck is this shit?
Oh, real life doesn't always have happy endings.
No, it doesn't.
That's pretty reflective of
that is true.
Life.
And as awful as that movie was for you,
yeah,
I think it was a very refreshing look at what a movie or a book could be.
It's what we
flip
needed.
It all on its head.
You can't have the same tropes over and over. And I think that's kind of why I get so angry about it. It is great, but it's infuriating because it's so different.
And you can't always catch the bad guy.
No.
You can't.
Even when you know exactly who it is. Stupid.
Well, and I keep waiting for a sequel because of that.
Someday, when she's a lot older, maybe they'll get back to it and it'll be, Gone Girl 2.
Decides to fuck with somebody else.
Yeah. Or someone will be fucking with her, trying to make her think she's crazy. A la Psycho 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of Psychos, Lance, you have the last one.
Oh, yeah, dude. come on, this has got to be on everybody's watch list on this one. Is Patrick Bateman, man, American Psycho. It's in the name.
Huey Lewis.
I mean, the guy, he's sitting there and he's like, yeah, I think we should get a divorce. And I've been thinking about it, and you can keep our friends. Like that right there is a clue in to just how like deeply gone this guy is. And then of course,
and some of the scenes in the movie, you kind of question whether they even happened or not because he's that far gone.
Well, yeah,
you're following him through his own psychoses through the movie, so it's like you're almost positive some of those murders happened, but maybe not all of them.
Well, and like some of the hints that happen are like when they're at the dinner table and they're asking him, "Oh, you know what are you in?" And he's like, "I'm in murders and
yeah." I know what you're talking about, and they just all kind of laugh. Ah!
Yeah, but he had said, "I'm in mergers and acquisitions," and then goes into a whole thing about the business cards and all of those types of things. Each time that you see a little glimpse into him, you're like, dude, this guy's fucking psychotic. Like, it's weird. And that's the whole point. It says American Psycho.
Yeah.
And when it really gets screwed up is when it comes into the American Psycho 2 and American Psycho 3, and there's like supposedly his protege, but then you also...
Yeah, because 2, I didn't know there was a third one, but 2, I believe she goes psycho because she was a victim. They try to say that he victimized her at some point, but she was like the only one who got away, and now she has like the same mental damage. And
right,
it's like, that doesn't make any sense. It's like no one got away from him.
Well, and nothing really actually happened, supposedly.
Yeah.
Like, it was all, like you said, it was just deeply in his mind.
It was his fantasies.
The murder fantasy.
And who hasn't these days thought about killing Jared Leto?
Hey, look at that. We're back to Hot Topic Joker.
That's a segue.
No, that's what you call bringing it full circle.
The good Batman was trying to save us from the worst Joker.
I mean, it all comes back to Batman.
Oh, my God.
And Batman dies in the end.
I think that's a good. We covered a lot.
It's a good segue into the final, personal favorites.
Yeah. Just go around the table and mention.
Yeah.
So personal favorites. You've already mentioned yours.
Yeah, mine was Jigsaw. I mean, come on, like just the whole premise behind all of that. I've really enjoyed, and I've watched 1 through 7 nonstop, and then went and saw the
8. I was about to say, I'm like 1 through 7. Man, there's 8 now.
I know. I watched 1 through 7 nonstop, then went and saw the movie.
And 8 was good.
When it came out, oh man,
it's kind of like the first movie though. Now that you know the twist, it's like, oh man, that's not going to be as good watching it again. But
even still, it's really well done.
Yeah.
My watch order on that was 1, 8, 2 through 7.
That's kind of like my Star Wars watch order.
That's my buddy, the guy I used to live with. He had only seen the first Saw, and he knew that I love this franchise. I have all the games, and he's like, "Is it really that good?" And I'm like, "Yes and no." I'm like, "There's some turds in there, but they're entertaining." And the 7th movie had just hit theaters, and the girl he was dating at the time wanted to go see this movie. So he ended up going to see the movie with his girlfriend. He's like, holy crap, 7 sucked. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of did. And he was like, I have no interest in watching 2 through 6 now. And I'm like, but you should.
You really should. I mean, they're originally when they were first coming out, I wasn't that big of a fan. The only thing I liked about them was actually the packaging. The DVD packaging that had like the little saw blade in it and the little packets of red like squishy juice. That was fun, but I didn't give it much credence because they had taken so long to come out between each one of them.
It was only a year.
Well, to me, at all the time that I had stuff going on and everything like that, I didn't get back around to it until I think they had 4 of them out, and then I went back and I watched them all.
I didn't see the first one in theaters because the trailer made it look stupid. And then it was a girl in high school, and I think that was senior year of high school when the first one came out, and she's like, no, this is like she knew me just being kind of a horror fan, and she's like, you need to see this. It's going to change the game.
It's pretty much
did.
Yeah.
It did for years.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. Okay, so that was mine.
Amber?
Oh. Mine is Norman Stansfield from The Professional, because first off, it's Gary Oldman. What can you do wrong there? And
not very much.
He's just, well, he did make one movie that I'm like, what?
I can't think of a really, really bad Gary Oldman movie.
The one where he was a little person with the underworld chick.
Underworld chick.
Was it
Kate Beckinsale?
Serendipity?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So she's going to do the research on that one.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
it is Serendipity. I think that's the only bad. No, that's John Cusack. But
I was like, what are you talking about?
no, he was in a movie where he
dwarf?
played a short, like, little person, and yeah, it was
Snow White and the
not-
Huntsman?
No, it wasn't a good movie. It was a bad movie. Hold on.
That was a bad movie.
Huntsman's on the borderline. I actually own that one, but
All right, let's see.
I'll find it.
we can cut all this out if we need to.
Gary
Yeah,
Oldman
we can cut all this out if we need to.
midget movie. Let's see what kind of
Oh my
It
god.
was bad.
You know, I believe the
Tiptoes.
There
correct
you go.
colloquialism is little person, buddy.
Peter Dinklage was in this. Holy shit. Kate Beckinsale, Matthew McConaughey.
And what is it?
Tiptoes. And Gary Oldman plays
I never even
a
heard
dwarf.
of this
It's
movie.
awful.
Never even heard of
This is
Tiptoes.
probably why I've never heard
They
of
make him
it.
look deformed.
And it's from 2003. Yeah, because Kate Beckinsale
I mean, I've
falls
seen-
for him as a little person.
I've seen
It's
some
about
bad
him.
movies. I've seen
Which is
nothing but
great.
trouble,
There's
and I've
nothing
never
wrong
heard of
with that.
Tiptoes.
Bro, let me tell you, worst movie,
It was just
Ankle
a weird
biters.
movie. It was.
it's a
remember
B
if I've seen
movie
that.
about midget vampires trying to create
Oh,
a
yeah, I've
race
seen
of
that. I've seen that.
shack-sized vampires
Yep, I've seen
using
that.
the sword that killed the last tall vampire.
Yep,
This
I
is
remember
great.
that.
There's a dude on YouTube named Cynical Reviews Tiptoes. Gary Oldman plays a dwarf. In parentheses, terrible movies. So it's a terrible movie.
Okay,
Perfect. So,
fair enough.
But,
But Norman Stansfield is an amazing
dude, when he
character.
bites into that pill, like, just... And
Well, that's even if because that's still kind of early-ish
yeah.
to him. That started his villain trend in the 90s. Before that, he hadn't played many villains yet. But that
he's
was like his first one.
So good as
He
a
was
villain.
really good at it,
And the way a lot of people know it from like memes when he's screaming, everyone!
yeah.
Just the look on his face. The man gives everything.
Well, even
Yeah.
just the way he like moves his hands, his arms, like every element of his acting in that role is thought out. It's like watching a dancer doing a performance. But he's a bad guy.
Agreed.
Agreed.
So good.
So, Rich,
Oh, come on. Mine's pretty obvious. If you know me, if you know my takes of movies, it is.
This is episode 4. They don't know shit.
right?
Who's rich? I don't know.
Well, I mean, a lot of people I know tune in, so. Vito Corleone,
There you go.
the Godfather, the original Godfather.
The original.
It's like Walter White and all the other ordinary guys turned villains.
Yeah,
He's interesting because you see his origin in 2. He's not a bad dude.
No, he's a immigrant child.
Yeah, he's an immigrant.
Who's basically running away because it was his father and mother were shot
Yep.
in their vineyard, right?
They were killed by a mob boss over in Sicily.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
he escapes to America, makes it over here, but then, of course, in his 20s, he goes back, kills the mob boss there, and basically kind of takes over his business and then
Brings
it back over.
Yeah.
And then that's how he inherits that, the criminal empire that
Yeah.
he does.
And
He
I
basically steals it. But throughout 2, you see his whole origin. He's not bad until he kills the mob boss. And
Mhm.
then he starts to kind of turn, but he really doesn't turn. He stays the same. He just does
He's a very
favors.
cool-headed mob boss through most of the series.
He tries to take care of people.
And he's very much about his family. He cares deeply about
And
his
he doesn't
family.
succumb to the drugs.
He's very
No, because it's not until Michael when
Yeah.
the drugs come into it. He even says, I believe in the first one, it's
the
like,
first film. He does.
cocaine is not a part of this organization.
Exactly. And that's what I mean by he doesn't succumb to the drugs. He knows all of that stuff is out there and that's kind of the way things are moving and stuff like that. And he's
Yeah.
like,
Nah.
we're just going to keep it what we've always done.
But I will say, that's that scene in 2 when he's in the stairwell and he kills the other mob guy, and the rag catches on fire and he goes up to the roof and disassembles the gun. I don't know what it is. It's like, I actually prefer Vito in 2. Granted, I love Robert De Niro.
Well, he has more presence in that movie than the first one.
The origin, the origin, it's so good and I think that's more memorable for me, just because 2, you see the rise of Vito at the same time you're seeing the fall of Michael. So for me, that's more memorable. But oh my God, Vito's so cool.
It's cool too because he's trying to help people, I guess.
He's a pillar of the community.
He is. I mean, he helps a lot of people.
He's connected to so many people, yeah. And he does. It's more about helping and just keeping the community thriving.
And he does by any means necessary, which
is arguable.
It's arguable, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, originally he wanted to do good, but of course he gets kind of corrupted, but kind of not, because he still stays away from the seedier things like drugs and prostitution. He just into racketeering and guns.
Old school mob.
Yeah.
So, I think we come to you, Fry.
Yep. And my choice among nerd culture might be blasphemous, kinda, because my favorite of all time is probably going to be General Chang from Star Trek, even over Khan.
Even over Khan.
Khan takes a backseat to General Chang for me.
Okay.
1, because it's Christopher Plummer, and I can't think of, even if he's in a bad movie, his role is always amazing. But the movie he's in, The Undiscovered Country, it's such a great story, and it's a kind of a parallel to the Cold War at the time. Mm-hmm. The Cold War was ending. The Kirk era of Star Trek was ending. So they're kind of drawing these parallels that this Klingon Cold War was ending. But for me, he kind of falls in line with our mastermind topic. And he's a hypocrite because his whole plan is he doesn't want the Federation Klingon War to end. He is a general. All he knows is war. He doesn't want change. So what's he going to do to enact that change? He's going to partner with the Federation, the Romulans, and the Vulcans all to assassinate his own chancellor and keep the war going, and frame Kirk and just keep this war going. He's created an alliance of all the races that hate each other to keep a war going.
Yeah.
And all the rest of them feel the same way. They're older members of these races, and it's like, yeah, it's fine. The war's good. Let's just keep it going.
Yeah, we're comfortable in the war. We don't want that peace that we've fought so long for, but now we don't know any other
we don't know the future, and that's what the Undiscovered Country is. It's a analogy for the future.
Right.
And they're scared of it. But the thing that makes that character so memorable for me is the thing that most Star Trek fans hate. And that's all the Shakespeare quotes. Every time he comes on screen, at least once per the scene, he's quoting Shakespeare. And it's absolutely amazing. So a lot of Star Trek fans may not like that. I'm sure they'd prefer I say Khan, but Khan's the easy choice. It's Chang is, when he's sitting there and he knows the plan's already in motion, and he's staring Kirk in the face, basically nose to nose, and he's just like, parting is such sweet sorrow. It's like the first time you watch the movie, you're like, okay, he's just continuing to quote Shakespeare and he's just being a dick. But when you've seen the movie and you watch that scene again, it's basically him telling Kirk, your life's over.
Yeah.
And he knows everything that's going on. It's not really until the last 30 minutes of the movie, maybe even past that point, that you realize he's the villain.
Right.
I mean, granted, you could look at the poster and see his face up in the corner and go, well, he's the villain. But throughout the movie, you don't know who the real villain is. It's not until the end when it's the Vulcan gives him up. It's like, oh, yeah, General Chang ordered this whole assassination plot. And we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
We're going to now assassinate the Federation Chancellor to keep the war going. It's like, I don't know. He's just so cool. Christopher Plummer can do no wrong in my book.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything.
So I want to thank you for listening, tuning in to this episode all about villains. If you enjoyed the show, check us out leave us feedback on YouTube. We have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Castbox, Spotify, and Pocket Cast.
I was going to say, if you can't find us on your favorite platform, let us know. We will do whatever it takes to get onto that platform.
Yeah, we're on all the socials, so you can find us and find out where we're posted.
Exactly.
At the very least.
And we're very accessible, so if you leave us a message on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, one of us will get back to you for sure. Feel free to ask us some questions, or even just leave us a thing about what you'd like to hear us talk about here on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and let us know your own personal favorite villains.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's thousands, and there's some that we haven't talked about.
Clearly, and we have many favorites, so it was really hard for us to narrow down.
We'd be here all damn day.
Exactly. Just even preparing for this, we were on like a 2 or 3 hour tangent amongst ourselves.
And we pared that down to an hour.
Yeah.
And 21 minutes.
So I think this is probably a good place to call it.
Yeah.
All right.
Until next time, Nerd Heard out.